I don't really have much else to say. We can move on. The next player, I have a lot of things to say, and I want to make sure that Matt's here to hear me.
All right. Yeah, Matt doesn't have too much time left, so let's dig into Elliot Collier, the New Zealand Gazelle.
God.
Go ahead, Jiggly. I'm listening.
He got a
So-
3. 2 games started, 1 assist, and also sometimes looked threatening, but a 3. I don't know if I agree with that 3. Maybe a 4?
No.
Maybe a 3. Maybe it is a 3.
That's a 2 for me.
But according to them,
Man.
he's not an MLS player, plain and simple. He will be back next season. He provides nothing. At 6'4", he can't head the ball. He is slow. He can't pass. He can't finish. The only thing keeping him from being rated lower is that he isn't afraid to go at people on the dribble, even if it is the same step over every single time. His contract is a low cap hit, but you're telling me you can't find someone better within the league or even nearly obsolete MLS Super Draft? That's their assessment.
So I was telling.
Say, before I let Jiggly go, the fact he's not slow. The dude's got pace for a 6'4" who's like 75% leg. He's definitely not slow. He's just not good. Sorry, go Jiggly. I'm listening now.
So recently, I had to explain to somebody else about Elliot Collier because I was explaining. I made like an anime joke to somebody who doesn't know soccer. They knew anime though, and I had to explain to him who the heck Elliot Collier was. And the thing is there is no comparison in any sport to what Elliot Collier is to the Fire, because there's just no way to explain. You guys understand what I'm saying though, right? There's no like tangible comparison for like how Fire fans feel about Collier when they see him. So
Unique.
I just wrote, drafted in the 3rd round of the 2018 MLS draft out of Loyola Chicago. Nobody expected any of that. The MLS draft is now only 2 rounds because the last 2 rounds have been so trash the past few years. So he was drafted in a round of the draft that does not exist anymore. He made his debut in March of his rookie season in Minnesota. I was there at that game. It was an away game. He scored. And then since then, he has amassed a total of 37 appearances and 11 starts. He has not scored a single goal since his debut. He is a striker. His job is to score goals. He does not do it. And I find this, it's just hilarious. But the thing is that throughout the season, obviously, we all hate seeing him get put onto the pitch. It's just this entire joke now. But the thing is that he plays hard. He plays harder than everybody else on the pitch. And that scares me. It scares me that the hardest worker on our team is Elliot Collier. If you really truly paid attention to like the effort that all these guys are giving, Collier gives like more than himself. He plays above his head every single game, which isn't much because his head, he may be tall, but he is not tall in terms of quality. So he plays very much above his head in terms of what he can do. He can't do much. He's the best Elliot Collier he can be. He is better than the best Elliot Collier he can be. But Elliot Collier is just not good enough. And I find it fascinating. It's just this it's a fascinating thing to watch, and why he's still playing, why he's still on the team, why we didn't dump him, why we gave him a new contract, why? And he is the second longest serving player on the team.
Oh my God,
And
he could
he's
be
probably
captain
the
soon.
worst on the roster. No, I would agree with that assessment. He's not an MLS player. He's like James said about someone earlier. He's a start like a not a starting 11, starting 18, starting 30 level player. If that. He's USL championship quality. But
He played amazing in the USL.
Yeah, for Memphis. But you're right. His work ethic is stupid good. Now that gets into the trouble sometimes because he wants to attack 4 defenders and he's not nimble enough to do it, which is great. It's quite quality entertainment for us. But also, he was our primary attacking sub off the bench.
Primary.
So, yes, Sapong was there, but he was doing his own thing half the season. So it's Elliot Collier as your backup, winger striker option. When you're put in a situation like that, you're bound to fail. Okay, you're just bound to fail. And I don't know why he got a new contract. But I think with the signings of Afori and maybe putting Frankie on the bench or something like that, he'll be able to take a much bigger backseat, a backseat that he needs to take because he's just not good.
And
good
that's what I was
enough.
saying with like, it terrifies me that he is the hardest working player on the pitch because there are good players out there and they're not playing as hard as him. That scares me. I want the entire team to be playing as hard as Elliot Collier, or at least like, I almost hope that Elliot Collier doesn't play that hard because it just makes everybody look bad. Because he's not good, but he's playing harder. He shows more heart than everybody else on the pitch. And it scares me. And it's fascinating. And I don't, there is no number grade I can give this man. There's no grade that I can give to Collier, because in terms of how good he was, in terms of like comparing himself to himself in comparison to his skills, he got a 10 out of 10 this year. He did great this year in terms of it being an Elliot Collier year. In terms of in general, I don't know. It's definitely low. It's very low. He takes stupid shots. He doesn't really do much of anything. He just does a lot of it.
I would have loved it if we just got to kind of watch him from afar while he was playing at Indy 11.
I really
He's
like.
such an Indy 11 guy. Let me tell you that.
I just
Perfect.
like just watching him run around. Just the moment that I gave up on the season was the moment that I began to love Elliot Collier. It's just like I just loved watching. There's our boy. There's our man. He's coming out on the pitch and look at him go.